day, Love. How are you doing? I hope you have been following up on all our lessons. Okay, today we are looking at under IGSCE history. We will be looking at why did events in the Gulf matter from 1970 to 2000. Why did events in the Gulf matter? You find that on chapter 7 of your textbook. Okay, so under this topic you should be able to explain why was Saddam Hussein able to come to power, what was the nature of Saddam Hussein's rule in Iraq. Now, the Gulf, you may be wondering, where is the Gulf located? And this aspect of it, this is Africa, and the top of it you have Europe, this side of it you have Asia. So that area in between Africa and Asia is referred to as the Gulf, where we usually call the Middle East. There you have Israel, Judah, you have Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Syria, Turkey. This area is referred to as the what? The Gulf, or the Persian Gulf. Okay, so these countries around this region are mostly what? Arab nations, except Turkey and Iran. Except Turkey and Iran, they are most of the countries here are Arab countries, and then they are also Islamic countries. So predominantly Islamic country. Okay, so except of course we know that of Israel. Okay, going further, this is also another map showing the Gulf, the Persian Gulf. How did Saddam Hussein come to power? Now let's look at the other things you should be able to know about this region. Like I stated, it's dominantly Arabs, they are dominantly Muslims. Then also in this region we have the Islamic group in this region are divided into two sets, the Sunni and the Shiites. These are Muslims, but then they have differences. The differences boils down to who came up. The differences came up as a result of who will succeed Muhammad after he died. So that was how the Muslims, of course, in this region had a split. Some they call themselves the Sunni Muslims, others call themselves the Shiites. The Shiites are the major Muslims in this region, while the Sunni are the minority. Now, but then in Iraq, of course, the same thing in Iraq, the Shiites are the majority, while the Sunni are the minority. But then we are going to see how the relationship between these two groups affected the events in this region. And you also wonder, why are we studying this region of the world? This region of the world is one of the major oil producing parts of the world. The West depends on them in terms of oil production. They export oil from this region. So they didn't really play. They don't really have. We have been looking at the Cold War. They didn't really play any significant role in the Cold War, but then we will see how the West tries to interfere in their affairs from one case to another. Over time, the people in this region have also experienced foreign rule. Okay, let's go further. You will understand as we go further. Okay, so Iran was ruled by pro-British monarchy under King Fasha from 1921 to 1958. Okay, Iraq was under Turkish rule, and after the First World War, the signing of the Treaty of Versailles and other treaties, Iraq was territories of former Turkey were taken over by the British, and when the British saw that they could not rule Iraq effectively. They needed somebody from that country to rule the nation. They had to appoint King Fasha to rule over Iraq. So he ruled Iraq from 1921 down to 1958, when a coup was plotted against him. A coup was plotted against him and he was overthrown. In 1968, another coup was plotted which brought in Saddam Hussein's government. So before we look at that, now during this time, Iraq experienced considerable economic development under King Fasha. However, the people were not in support of his government because he was a pro-British. The people in Iraq were, of course, as I've stated before, they are Arabs. They are people who they love their nationality, they love their way of life. So King Fasha, under him, inequality between the rich and the large poor was obvious. Though he tried to introduce modernization, though he tried to introduce a Western way of life, he tried to build the country's economy, but then there was still huge difference between the rich and the poor. The British support of the new other things that made the Arabs there also to rise against his government was that the British support of the new Jewish state in 1948 against Arab state, which is Israel. Israel became a nation. Israel had their country recognized by 1948 against the wish of the Arabs. So they were supported by the British and the Arabs. For that reason, the Arabs, of course, did not want to do anything with the British. And then British control of oil production and prices in Iraq. The British were in control of the oil production. They were in control of oil production, even though there was an agreement that Iraq and the oil companies will share the profits, but then they were still the ones in control of oil production and prices. The Iraqis felt they should be the one in control of production price and even the profits, which is coming from their oil production. So all these were the issues as at the time of King Fasha that eventually led to a coup against him in 1958. A coup was made against him, he was overthrown, and then the military came in. By 1968, there was another coup by a party called the Ba'ath Party. The Ba'ath Party were mostly Sunni Muslims. It was successful. It was a bloodless coup, but then it was successful, and then a president emerged called President al-Bakri. Under President al-Bakri, an important person that played a key role in the coup was Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein eventually became the vice president under President al-Bakri. But then, don't forget, our main focus on this study is Saddam Hussein, how he eventually became the strong man of the regime. How was he able to do this? Okay. Now, the rise of Saddam Hussein. Throughout the early 1970s, Saddam Hussein continued to rise in power as he built up a strong reputation as being progressive and effective leader politically. He was able to do this through the following method. 1. Building a strong power base. Saddam Hussein built a strong power base around himself. How did he do this? He appointed into government positions people related to him, mostly his family members. Family ties was an important aspect of the Arab tradition. They believe in having a strong relationship around their family. So Saddam Hussein placed his family members in important government positions, even in the military. He placed his family members. So with that, he surrounded himself with people that he could trust. So with that, he was able to build a strong power base, for himself. Then also building popularity. Saddam Hussein uh, put things in place to ensure to build his popularity among the Arab people of Iraq, such as nationalizing the oil company of Iraq. With that, he was able to make Iraq get in control or be in control of oil production, oil prices, and of course the profits made from oil. With that, it was from the profit being made from this oil, Saddam Hussein was able to build the economy, the education sector, health sector, education sector, health sector, and other aspects of the economy, to the point that it was even given an award for introducing a modern health facility to Iraq. And then he also used indoctrination. He used repression and terror to control his people. Now, he constantly he was in control of the army. He made sure he was in control of the army. He made sure he spent money on the army, but then he used indoctrination to control the army. He made sure he was in control of the army to prevent them from rising against his government, to prevent them from, of course, planning a coup against him. And then he used repression and terror to control the people. There was cases of rape. Whoever is suspected that is against him is arrested, and there were cases of rape, terror, and all sorts of oppression on those who is suspect to be against his government. So in 1979, Saddam Hussein forced the Sikh president to resign, and he eventually became the president of Iraq. Okay, nature of Saddam Hussein's rule in Iraq. What was the nature of his rule? We should be able to describe the nature of Saddam Hussein's rule in Iraq. Saddam Hussein ruled over Iraq as a dictator for 25 years. The nature of his rule in Iraq was characterized by one, use of terror, as we have stated before, especially in his treatment of the non-Sunni people in Iraq. Saddam Hussein was from the Sunni Muslims, but Saddam Hussein was part of the Sunni Muslims, a minority group in Iraq. Now, Iraq was made up of three groups. We have the Sunni people who are Muslims, the Shiites, Muslims, and then we have the Kurds. The Kurds, we look at the issue of the Kurds. Okay, so Saddam Hussein used terror to treat the non-Sunni people of Iraq. The Shiite people, we are going to see later on how he eventually even deported them to Iran. Then the Kurds, he killed many of them. He even used chemical weapons to try to eliminate them because they wanted their own country. They wanted to be separated from the country of Iraq. They wanted their own country called Kurdistan, but Saddam Hussein does not want that. So he wanted them, of course, to be under his government. So he used terror, killed so many of them. Then indoctrination and court of leadership. For example, he controlled education and his portrayal as a national leader and Arab hero. Now, court of leadership, how did Saddam Hussein do this? Saddam Hussein tried to create, even in the midst of terrorizing his own people, he still tried to create an image of being an Arab hero. How did he do this? Remember, we talked about Israel having their independence or having their own country in 1948. Saddam Hussein criticized the British for supporting Israel. Saddam Hussein spoke out against the nation of Israel, and then he tried to project himself as a protector of the Arab nation. So Saddam Hussein also portrayed himself as a national hero. He posted these pictures in town. At the end of the lesson, I'm going to show you pictures of Saddam Hussein, how he tried to create a fatherly role with by posting his speech, his love for children. It was said that he can even visit a family just to see how they live, and then try to study what they feel about him. All this he was doing to bring the people, of course, to his side. So nobody is permitted to speak against his government. So he used indoctrination and cult of leadership to also control his people. Then development of Iraq's infrastructure, that is the facilities, service, communication needed by the country to function properly. Saddam Hussein built, like I said earlier, the health sector. He built education. He built education sector, health sector, and encouraged the people to be what to be educated. In conclusion, Saddam Hussein rose to power through consolidation of power internally in the government and externally through the support of the Iraq people. So go through your textbook and then you should be able to answer this question. Describe the method used by Saddam Hussein to consolidate his power in Iraq. Describe how Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq, and then why did Saddam Hussein, after becoming president, use force or terror on his own people. Okay, so this is a picture of him. You should be able to, from this picture, you should be able to describe the reason or what he tried to gain by portraying such pictures in public about himself. What was his motive for portraying such pictures or putting out such pictures about himself in public places? So thank you very much. I hope you understand the lesson. Drop your comments. Thank you.